So you're looking to spend your hard-earned cash. I have spent over $1.5 million in audio components. If you're looking to finally get to the end of the road, the end of your journey, I urge you to visit my website, jaysaudiolab.com. Come and see me. Consider my consultation service and let me help you out. Stop burning your money. Stop doing that to yourself and your significant others. When you're ready to see me, come to jaysaudiolab.com and let me help you. Okay, so this month I am traveling to Illinois, Chicago to be specific, and I am going to do a commercial at a local hi-fi store called Next Level Hi-Fi, okay? So my team and I are going to shoot this store and create a commercial which is a marketing opportunity essentially, right? I am going to be rolling out marketing opportunities on my channel. Now, in case you're wondering, what does that mean? That simply means, okay, that I am shooting with my team, let's say a store. We are shooting the store. We're also editing all the footage. My video editor is doing a very professional video, okay, about the store. And of course, it's a 20-30 second commercial, okay? So this is a marketing opportunity so that anyone who watches my channel knows of this location, knows of the brands they have, and hopefully, you know what? You can check out their operation and see if they have anything that you may want to buy from them. So this is a new thing that I'm rolling out, and I'm going to make a lot of videos like that. But it is just a commercial. I am not in the commercial. I am not there doing anything. It is just me and my team shooting the location and creating a very beautiful 20-30 second commercial, okay? No different than any commercial you see on YouTube about other things, okay? Am I a full-time audiophile? I am not a full-time audiophile yet. I have thought about becoming a full-time audiophile, full-time YouTuber. That's what I mean. I've thought about that. But the truth is, you know, I don't generate enough streams of revenue to justify quitting my job. It's crossed my mind, I will be honest, but I don't generate enough money to do that. Is it one of my wishes in 2024? Absolutely. Absolutely. One of my biggest wishes is to do this all day, every day, and never have to answer questions to any boss, any manager, anybody else. Let me explain why I feel this way. And some of you will relate to this. This is real talk. How many of you right now watch me? I know some of you don't have the situation, so just hear me out. But how many of you, the rest of you, how many of you currently watch me and have considered buying something, an X product, a product that's costing you an X amount of money, right? But you're afraid that if you buy it and you get fired the week after, you may not have money to pay your car. You may not have money to make your bills. You may be out of money to, to pay your mortgage. Let's keep it real. Some of us have been in that position. I'm one of them. Well, so how many of you are tired of letting other people, in this case, your employer, dictate what you can or cannot buy? How many of you are sick of that? I am sick of it. I'm up to here. I hate letting another man control what I spend my money on or not. But the reality is, I'm a believer in this. The system is rigged. The entire system is rigged to make you work until your last days. I believe in that. I believe that if you are a worker bee that does the 9 to 5 every day and you got nothing else going on, you will work forever and until the rest of your life, until you retire. And then soon after that, you know what happens. We're gone. So the reason why I'm saying this is because I have been working very hard behind the scenes to construct and have that cushion that allows me to never have to rely on other men and to basically let someone else control my money. Okay. And I feel like all of us can do this, but the reality is very few people think about it like this. But if you really think hard in your head, how many of us are sick of that feeling of knowing that I have the money to buy this, but if I buy it, I may jeopardize other responsibilities I have in the event that I get fired? That's living, in my opinion, in fear. Living in fear every day. Every day you're in fear of losing your job because they had a massive layoff, because they decided they eliminated your position, because they feel like they can no longer use your services. And so every day you wake up with this anxiety, not knowing when your last day will come. I feel like I don't have to live like that. I have worked my, you know what, very hard for the last 5 years here to change that narrative, to change that feeling. Okay. And so eventually, I think that my wish will come, will become true. I will be a man that will no longer have to answer to anybody else. And so I'm creating that path. And I think it's almost there. Almost there. Do not let anyone else ever, no employer, nobody, okay, dictate what you can and cannot do. And one way of them controlling this again is putting fear in you, putting fear in your finances, and making you afraid of buying and acquiring those things that give you happiness. Good question. What am I looking for when testing a new DAC? What I'm looking for is resolution. I am looking for detail. I am looking for as much transparency slash neutrality as possible. Um, what I am not looking for are those typical traits associated with digital streaming. Number one, brightness. Number two, this artificial feeling where the music does not seem organic, the lack of warmth. And of course, the analytical feeling, meaning that it just never, it never reaches out to touch you. And the music never reaches out to make you vibe with it, to make you connect with it. Those are the traits that I always avoid when selecting a DAC. Okay. It is very hard to do because if your system is not up to par when it comes to neutrality, when it comes to performance, okay, you are going to have a hard time deciding which is the better DAC for you. I feel like when you embark on these types of comparisons, okay, the rest of your system really needs to be well designed. What do I mean by that? Do you have the right power for this DAC? Do you have maybe a power conditioner? Do you have a quality power cable for these DACs that you're trying to compare? Do you have the right speakers? Do you have the room? Do you have the right isolation device to put this DAC on top of? All of those variables matter in order for you to really make a fair assessment on these two DACs that you may be comparing. Okay, so you have to keep that in consideration. It is unfair to compare two DACs and throw them on your kitchen counter and use your lamp cords as power cords and put two speakers right next to them on the kitchen counter and then just push A and B and pretend like you know what's going on. It's so flawed. Those comparisons should not be made, especially when you're trying to select the best next product for your system. Okay, so remember, there is a level of responsibility on your shoulders when you're doing these comparisons. There has to be a level of responsibility. If you don't take it serious and you don't take those responsibilities seriously, then you're more than likely going to fail selecting the right component for your system. Okay, best digital connection to MSB discrete DAC, AES USB. My hi-fi chain, Lumen U2, MSB discrete, no USB input, AGD Audion Monos, Wilson Audio Sabrina X, card is clear, cable loom. Good system, by the way. I like that system. It looks like it's very well thought out. And I say that because I've seen those Cardis with Wilson Audio and they get great results. I like the MSB discrete with Wilson Audio speakers. I think it adds this nice warmth, this analog-like presentation. And Lumen, you know what? I can't say anything bad about Lumen. I just got done speaking about it. So I think you have a very nice selection of components. Now, as far as the best connection for the MSB, look, I've only had the reference and the select 2, which of course are elite models in the MSB lineup. Okay. For me, I just feel like the MSB USB with that digital box, I forget the name, but it's essentially taking the USB signal and transforming it into an optical signal that that gets connected in the back of the DAC. To me, I feel like that's the most optimized connection for an MSB DAC, personally. Okay, but I did not really tinker a lot with AES. I did a couple of comparisons here and there. I always found myself selecting the USB module from MSB. I just feel like it's just a lot more isolated, and again, it's transforming a USB signal into an optical signal, and to me, that completely rejects any noise, and it just makes the signal more pure. Does that make sense? So for me, if I'm making a recommendation, I would go for the Pro USB module. That's what I mean. The Pro USB module is what it's called. If you can select that and you can buy it, it's not a lot of money and it's just an easy snap-on connector on the back. You can literally do the change yourself. I think that would be the better way to go, in my opinion. Yes, the Mola review is not done yet. I am taking notes at this time. I am understanding more and more what this DAC is capable of. I'm going to give you a brief, quick review. Okay, quick 10-second review. It's a great DAC for the money. I am very impressed with how quote unquote cheap it is and the performance that it delivers. Okay, I have nothing so far that I can say it doesn't do when I take into account the money that it is. So if you are out there and you have a Mola Tambaqui DAC, I'm going to tell you the Tambaqui DAC for the money is a great DAC. Do I play with fuses? Yes, I play with fuses. Okay. I have a lot of fuses. As a matter of fact, let me show you. Here we go. Look, I'm going to show you something. Do I play with fuses? Look at this. They're all seated here. They're not being used. See, all these outlets, brand new outlets, never open. Brand new outlet, never open, sealed. I got so many things in here, folks, that look, more fuses from different brands. But you know what? If you really want to know my truth, to me, fuses are cool and all, but to me, it's also changing what the designer of the product intended to do. And what I mean by that is, let's say you buy, as an example, a Boulder product or a Griffin product, right? These guys have worked hard, tirelessly, to give you the sound, whatever that is, that they're looking to get out of their electronics. So they're selecting parts inside, such as great, Mundorf capacitors. They're selecting silver cables for the inside of their systems, their components, excuse me. They're selecting footers. Like in the case of Solution, they have footers underneath their components. So they're tuning their components to do what they feel is best, right, for sound reproduction. So what happens is you come in and now you grab this, you insert it in the component. You just basically undid everything they did. You literally got in the driver's seat, pushed them off the chair, and you felt that you were the better driver and you felt like you know what's best for the sound. So you changed everything they've been working so hard to do. Plus, the money that you're paying, remember, now you're undoing everything that they've been doing for you. To me, fuses are fun. They do change the sound. They definitely change the sound of the music. I am not going to tell you they don't. There is definitely a change, okay? I've heard it myself. However, when you are buying fuses and you're changing fuses, now you become the cook in the kitchen. And to me, that's a pretty expensive price to pay to redo or undo what others have been doing for you. I do not recommend fuses unless you're bored with your system. You feel you've already maximized the performance. You've gotten everything there is to get out of your system. You've already looked at your room. You got the right outlets. You got your right power conditioner. You got the isolation devices under your components. You got maybe an audiophile grade stand to mitigate vibration. Then, if you have nothing else to do and you have crossed all your T's, dotted all your I's, then I'd say you want to play with something affordable and cheap, play with fuses. See what happens. It's like an equalizer, basically. And so that's the only time in which I say go ahead and do fuses. Else, the rest of you, I don't recommend fuses, period. People get it twisted all the time. People always think that, oh, yeah, it definitely changed. It definitely changed. It got better. Are you sure it got better? Or you think it got better because you heard a change? There's a difference. And the only way you will know whether something gets better or worse, there's only one way, is by you sitting down and listening for hours, days, and weeks. Only then you can take your pen and paper and write your notes, because you can go basically from owning a component that you know with your eyes closed to a new sound, a new presentation, but that new sound and new presentation will not begin to really articulate to you what is happening until your ears and your brain has synced up with the new sound. That's the only time in which you'll be able to tell what got better and what got worse, and if this new sound or tonality or sonic character is really an improvement over what you had. Remember that, okay? So I do not recommend fuses personally.